Haas has had a couple of years of absolutely terrible performance. Debuting in the 2016 Formula 1 season, Haas started off their Formula 1 stint with a decent 8th place finish in their first year, with the team's drivers Romain Grosjean scoring 29 points for them in the first season. Their second driver Gutierrez was replaced the following year by Kevin Magnussen, who partnered Grosjean for the 2017 season. They had a decent season in 2017 as well, with Grosjean and Magnussen both scoring decent points, Grosjean 28 and Magnussen 19. In 2018, they had their strongest season yet with the same driver pairing. They scored a total of 93 points, finishing 5th in the standings. Magnussen also cracked the top 10 in the driver standings, finishing 9th with a total of 56 points. 2019 was their first year of decline, with Haas really struggling to crack the top 10 in races. They started off the season well, with Magnussen finishing 6th right at the beginning. They declined quite quickly thereafter, with Haas finishing 9th that season with 28 points, just ahead of Williams in 10th. 2020 was their worst season yet, with Haas struggling both in terms of performance and reliability. Haas finished again in the 9th place, with Grosjean scoring 2 points and Magnussen bringing in the other 1 point. Halfway through the season, Haas announced they would part ways with their drivers, bringing in the rookie driver pairing of Nikita Mazepin and Mick Schumacher into Formula 1. That also meant that Grosjean and Magnussen ended the season with no Formula 1 seat for the following season. While Grosjean moved on to the IndyCar series, Magnussen dipped his toes into multiple competitions, participating in IndyCar, Le Mans and Sebring in 2021. While Haas changed their driver lineup, their luck did not change much in the 2021 season. They had a new title sponsor in the form of Russian mining company Uralkali and a new livery which resembled the colors of the Russian flag. While Mazepin driving ensured their title sponsor, Schumacher brought in some German sponsors that brought in more cash for the team. But nothing really helped them in developing a decent car for that year. Haas was dead last in the 2021 season, finishing with no points, and their drivers Schumacher and Mazepin ending the season in 19th and 21st places respectively. But Haas at the beginning of the season had announced that they would not be focusing much on the development of their 2021 season car, instead focusing most of their developmental resources on the new regulations and their brand new car for the 2022 season. This meant there was hope for Haas for the 2022 season. And this was apparent already in the first testing session in Barcelona early in the year. But between the first and the second testing sessions, several things changed. With Russia's attack on Ukraine, the team decided to discontinue their relationship with their Russian driver Mazepin and their Russian title sponsor Uralkali. This, of course, was an opportunity for someone outside the grid to make their way into the Formula 1 lineup, replacing Mazepin. Haas, of course, had a number of options, including newcomers from Formula 2 and promising drivers sitting outside, including Hülkenberg and Magnussen. Haas eventually decided to go with Magnussen, which in hindsight was an excellent option considering the team's long-standing relationship with the driver. In the second testing in Bahrain, Haas clearly showed off their pace, with Magnussen and Schumacher both setting up top 10 lap times. As the defending world champions struggled and hinted for a tough first half for all Mercedes-powered teams, the season looked promising for all Ferrari-powered ones, including Haas. So, what next for Haas then? At the time this video was made, 2 races are completed of the 2022 season. In Bahrain, Haas qualified 7th and 12th, with Magnussen finishing 5th in the race and Schumacher just outside the points in the 11th place. Heading into the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, Haas was 3rd in the standings, unthinkable for a team that did not move from the bottom of the table just a season before. In Jeddah, Magnussen qualified 10th, marking his second consecutive Q3 result in 2 races for Haas. Magnussen bettered his position, finishing 9th in the race. After the second race, Haas is currently sitting in the 5th place in the championship with 12 points to their name. Looking at how the Ferrari cars are performing, this is clearly a positive sign for Haas as well. As it stands, they are clearly ahead of the likes of Aston Martin and Williams. It is highly likely that they will finish ahead of them at the end of the season. A 6th place finish looks very much achievable for them. As Ferrari powered, their main competition could be against the likes of Alfa Romeo, but definitely with their extra focus last year on developing this year's car, Haas clearly has a head start against the likes of Alfa Romeo this year. Magnussen in turn could definitely aim for a top 10 finish this season and could possibly also score 1 or 2 podiums. Schumacher seems to still be struggling, but once he finds his groove, a 5th place finish could even be possible for Haas. Haas has had a couple of years of absolute agony. This is their year of redemption. And with their head start, who knows, they might even climb further up in this era of technical regulations. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit that like button, consider subscribing to the channel if you like to watch similar content, and stay tuned to I Am Formula for everything Formula 1. Until next time, take care and stay safe.